Capish is such a great company with our innovative and clever solutions. What was your motivation? What inspired you to develop Capish?
My primary inspiration came from my frustration over the lack of functionality that you have on common database interfaces when you try to query them. There are so many everyday questions that we ask ourselves that you just cannot pose. Let me give you a recent example. A common question during the COVID pandemic was finding people having taken a first and second vaccination or have had COVID. This seemingly trivial query cannot be posed to a table because it has an and between values in the column treatment and an or between this column and the disease column. If you're a spreadsheet user, you will recognize this problem immediately. I just say that sometimes you must be an expert to understand what can and cannot be done. Well, I found this shortcoming both frustrating and unnecessary, and decided to do something about it.
How did you approach the problem of answering questions that table-based solutions have issues with? How did you make it a reality?
After a lot of thinking, I realized that the best way to create a more permissive environment was to move the data from their tables into a more human-like mind map of information. So going back to the COVID example, we created a mind map where the circles in the mind map are made up of familiar entities like patient, treatment, and disease. And suddenly, without the table constraints, you can envisage yourself looking at the information from any of the circles in the mind map. And hey, you have just added perspectives to the information. And being able to work with different perspectives is the key functionality to increase user empowerment. It makes queries like 2 shots or COVID possible. These type of questions need a perspective to give an understandable answer.
Considering mind maps and being able to use different perspectives, how did you create a technical solution to do this?
A mind map is within the computer world known as a graph database, where the circles are called nodes and the lines between the nodes are called edges. In contrast to table-based databases, graph databases are well suited for understanding and analyzing complex relationships. And we have made graph databases even more useful with an efficient indexing and a well-defined information model that is a good representation of the knowledge area or discipline studied.